Office is empty.
Well, shit. David will go find one of the security officers and see if one of them knows where he went.
Uh, David ends up getting, like, perpetual shrugs. Sort of like, how no one wanted to go open the door for the meeting. No one asked, like, the Archon, like, where he's going.
Yeah, fair enough. In that case, David's going to try and leave a note for him.
Put it on the fridge somewhere.
Probably leave it on the desk.
Alright, that's fair.
Or leave it with one of the security officers that he recognizes from the fight.
Do you want to write down what David wants to write on the note?
It's basically just going to say that someone in his coterie came into information that the Anarchs are working on ghouling the police throughout Brooklyn and Queens. Sounds like it's a concentrated effort. Doesn't know if he knew yet, but there it is.
Okay.
He's not going to like include a request for help or anything like that in the note. Then he's going to head to Central Park.
Okay. Let's see here. Alright, Joseph, go ahead and make your crazy roll. Byron was going back to hunting, so go ahead and remake your hunting roll. Okay. Crimson made his hunting roll. Joseph made his crazy roll. Alright, so let's focus in on Marcus. He spent an hour hunting. He only has a minimum amount of alcohol in his system. It's not going to influence his skills. What does Marcus want to do? He does have a missed call from Byron.
I'll call Byron. It's probably important.
Hey, well, shoot. If I'm hunting, I'm going to ignore it this time.
Okay.
Asshole. See if I ever answer your calls again.
Marcus gets Byron's voicemail.
I see how it's click.
Marcus
Okay,
did hear that, by the way.
Shit. The ghost is following me now.
What would Marcus like to do?
I think Mark is going to head to Flushing's.
Okay. What's Marcus's goal when he gets there in Flushing, Queens?
He's going to sit outside of the Dominic Gressman's apartment and see what happens. Well, stake it out, basically.
Okay. You'll arrive, probably about 2:30, 2:45. Certainly do that.
Does Auspex make his senses sharp enough that he has borderline binocular vision? Or telescopic, rather. He already has binocular vision.
If he keeps it on all the time, he would definitely have supernatural senses, yeah. But go ahead.
I also have the acute senses with sight.
He does. The problem, of course, ends up being with all of the bright lights of New York City. He tries not to look at the brightest ones whenever he has the heightened senses on. It's been a long time since he's had a bad touch moment, but it could happen again. Well, the next person who will finish up their task, David Green, arrives at Central Park.
All right, he's going to go to that shack and check it out.
All right, David enters the dark, foreboding, ominous, malevolent lichen-haunted Central Park. Make a perception plus alertness a difficulty 6 for me.
Trained observer play?
Sure. You're trained to notice death.
I sure am.
Yep. Your journey to the shack goes without incident, having gone there just one time before back during the whole Theo Bell thing, and of course you ended up waking up from torpor in that shack. You certainly do it. It looks just as beautifully innocent as the shack did prior. The door is naturally locked.
Of fucking course it is. Alright, David's going to, flick on his eyes, look around, make sure that, there's no one in the surrounding area.
With your super cool observation, doesn't look like anyone's in Central Park, that you can see. But again, it's like 2:30 in the morning. Might be like a hooker strolling around somewhere on a Monday, or someone who's drunk, but no one who's looking or paying attention to you.
This is Central Park of the late 90s. Alright. Then he's going to get to work trying to pick the lock.
Give me a dexterity plus larceny at difficulty 4.
And precise applies in this case, right?
Sure. Click. Door opens easily.
Alright, David's going to start slowly heading on in. It's going to take his
Okay.
time, be nice and quiet, and very visible.
Alright, go ahead and roll, just so we'll have an idea of how stealthy you're going to be down the staircase. Dexterity plus stealth at difficulty 6. That's stealthy.
Shit.
Clank. Clank.
As we know, not a botch.
Right,
Alright.
but not very quiet.
David thinks he's stealthy.
And that's all that matters.
That's right. David makes his way down the spiral staircase. Looks like it's a little worse for wear. It's seen some activity in action. Some of the stones and like side of the central pillar that you're walking around these stairs is chipped. But eventually you arrive at the landing where the elevator is. The elevator is humming, like it still has power.
Well, shit. I mean, to be fair, it did still have power unexpectedly when we were doing that shit with Theo Bell, but,
Definitely.
oh fuck. Alright, can I board it?
Well, David will walk towards the elevator and then blink and look down at the hand scanner combined with the number pad. He'll recall that Theo used some sort of devil magic sorcery that involved like a giant spider thing for the hand scanner. And as for the numbers, David wasn't paying attention to the over 10 plus digit combo.
Right.
But
Well, there's always the more analog form of hacking.
yes.
So, I think David's going to see if he can get the... Well, first he's going to try and see if it's still, overwritten or whatever.
What?
See if the crazy devil machine is still working its magic here. Like, see if it wrought...
No, it looks like it's definitely, it's prompting, basically waiting for a hand scan.
Alright. In that case, he's going to try and take the front plate off and see if he can figure out which wire is the one that controls the signal for Yep, this is legit. And see if you can hotwire it.
Okay. Let me see here.
This is how you hack system the analog way. Other forms of analog hacking include breaking and entering into a building and stealing the hard drive out of a server.
Alright. This is a spur-of-the-moment sort of improvisational thing, so give me a Wits plus Technology at difficulty 8.
Shit, that's only 4 dice. Ah well, I'll give it a try. Nah, I don't have shit.
David certainly got the panel off, and he's looking around. It's just... he's not quite sure which thing he's supposed to manipulate here. You can try again, but it's going to be an extra +1 to the difficulty.
Yeah, David was hoping that this would be as easy as hotwiring a car.
Yeah, but yeah, there's no penalty. You certainly have the time. You could roll again, and it'd be for a difficulty 9. There's just a chance you might botch.
Right, and if he botches, he'll probably, I don't know, render this entire recognition system ruined.
He'd probably just have to use his incredible strength to pry the elevator doors open.
Yeah, that's his backup plan anyway. So, yeah, he'll try again.
Okay.
Fuck not.
That's a success. It takes David quite a long time. So much so that Marcus will definitely end up reaching Sunset Apartments and begin his overlook. And Joseph and Byron will still be relaxing after they satiate themselves with blood. But David finally, like, I wonder if... and the hand scanner, beep beep, and goes green. Which still leaves the numpad.
Shit. He's gonna check the wires, see if it's as complicated and convoluted of a mess as the hand scanner was.
Okay. For sort of this observational thing, give me a perception plus larceny at difficulty 6 to see if you can disassemble it to look at the wiring. Yeah, David manages to remove the panel using his tools and some tinkering. He thinks he can do that, but considering how long the number code is, it'll definitely take some time. Might be it's gonna be difficulty 7. It'll be a little easier than a hand scanner, but it would be wits plus technology.
Fuck it, he'll give it a try. If
Okay.
all else fails, he can just come back here, you know, tomorrow. He's not in any huge rush, and honestly, he might learn a lot if the scene has been disturbed between now and then. So yeah, he'll try it.
It takes David even more time. Still tinkering with the just looking, and even though he has his eyes of the beast, he might just pull out his flashlight anyway, just to see if he can get a better angle with it, and pull out his various tools and remember all of his teachings. To catch a criminal, you have to learn how to think like a criminal. But David will eventually get beep beep, and with both security bypassed, the doors slide open.
Alright, David's going to try and commit the way that this bypass worked to memory in case he has to repeat it at some point.
Okay, with that sort of precision to detail in mind, David can certainly repeat this.
Alright, then he's going to put the faceplate back on so that ideally no one's any the wiser that he did this.
Alright. It looks like perhaps someone opened it who had no idea what he was doing about how the thing worked.
That's why I said ideally.
Right.
And then David will take the elevator on down.
All right. David descends down the elevator. Now, before we get any further with that, Byron, you're done with your hunt. What would you like to do? Looking at about like 2:40 in the morning for you.
With that, I'll return Marcus's call.
All right, Marcus, you're lurking and loitering outside Sunset Apartments. You haven't seen anyone pass by who's gone in or out of the building yet. You get a call.
Marcus will answer it. Oh, now I see you answer my phone. The phone call.
Hey, yeah, sorry, I was in the middle of there's this really cute girl, and never mind. Anyway, yeah, I was just finishing up. Yeah, I was calling you earlier because I have some information regarding the whole Commissioner Gressman and Germain thing that I think you need to know.
Oh, such as?
Well, I heard from Joseph that essentially Germain has been tasked by the Anarchs to ghoul Gressman. And if I understood Joseph correctly, he was essentially warned. It was a warning for us to steer clear of that, which, although I hate to admit it, I don't know if we're in a place to antagonize the Anarchs right now. Oh, and if you didn't understand that, implicit in that is, yeah, I got I did tell you that. Was it you that I called back after match and told you that he was a vampire? I think it was. So
Yeah, you made vampire. Yeah. Well, Byron, we can't exactly let them just walk over our territory now, can we?
No, but I mean, how would you like to go about it? I mean, we can. I mean, if Gressman is already ruled, our only choices, and I spoke about this with Joseph, are we have to, if we want to ghoul him, we have to kill Germain and then ghoul him. If we want someone to replace him that we can ghoul, we have to kill the commissioner. Neither option seems wonderful to me. We could try to ghoul Gressman first, but we ran into him last night. It could have already been done, which that would just open up a whole can of worms too. I'm open to suggestion here, but my thought was
we need to find if he's already been ghouled. If he hasn't, we need to move. We just can't roll over and die as well.
And this is out of character because I actually don't remember. Is there a way that you can just tell, like through Auspex or something, if someone's a ghoul or not?
No.
Yeah, I mean, then that's a question Byron's going to ask. Is like, how are we going to tell if he's a ghoul? I mean, are we going to have that talk with him? I mean, this. I don't know if there's a delicate way to find this out.
You'd think someone's aura would be different if they were a ghoul.
Yeah, I just don't remember.
Yeah, it is. You can see it with Aura Vision, second dot of Auspex.
Well, fair enough then.
You can. I'm pretty sure you can do it with just one success too.
I mean, I know that you can tell a person's a vampire that way. I just didn't know that it also applied for ghouls.
Yeah, one success can distinguish the shade, and it looks like the shade is the thing that tells you whether or not they're magic or ghoul or vampire or whatever.
Well, fantastic.
I just need to get a vision so I can see his aura.
Well, that sounds like, yeah, well, that might be a way to go. I guess stake out his apartment or maybe his office if that's where. I mean, who knows?
I'm already at his place.
Well, you're one step ahead of me then. I guess that's the plan for now. Let us know if you see anything, and Do you? Well, if he isn't ghouled, if you can see if you can tell if he's ghouled or not, you might. I mean, if he's alone, you might be able to take him there and ghoul him. But again, I mean,
without dominate, it's going to be really hard for me to get him to do anything, even with awe.
Yeah, basically, I think. I mean, yeah, you can awe him, and it'll make them happier to do what you say. But I think drink my blood or drink this blood probably is off the list of things that are socially acceptable at that point. So it probably would balk at that.
Unless he already did that to begin with, which then you'd have to have an interesting conversation with yourself about what the commissioner did in his spare time to keep helping.
I've been thinking that thought, actually, that he might have already been ghouled by someone, but I guess, well, who knows? Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
I mean, like, he's not drinking vampire blood, he's drinking human blood. There are humans who do that. So...
Very regal thing.
Oh, my virgin ears. I don't want to hear about
about half of them think they're vampires.
No. But,
I know you never hear about that on Facebook, right?
There's an entire vampire fetish community. Massive incidents of illness within it.
Oh no, I know. I was making a joke. I find it
This is no
revolting.
laughing matter.
But anyway, back to the game. No.
Byron's getting another call.
Yeah, Byron. Yeah, for crying out loud. People that ought to know better too, because I tell them I'm doing this thing. Yeah. So back to the game. Byron will say, "Well, I mean, I can definitely do that, and we can attempt to ghoul him if he hasn't been already. But do know this probably is going to be a poke in the eye to the Anarchs. I don't know if we want to do that at this point.
If the Anarchs just to fight back against us, they've made an enemy of the entire Camarilla. And then Khan will have a reason to knock Anarch heads once he gets to leave.
Well, I see your point, and I'm actually leaning your direction. But you mind if I try to get in contact with David here and see what his opinion on the whole thing is?
Sure, I'm not going anywhere.
Once hands off.
Marcus, while you are on the phone with Byron, which gave some increased difficulty, but you are observant enough, the door to Sunset Apartments opens, and Commissioner Dominic Gressman, that 7 foot tall, super muscled, black son of a bitch, is walking out. He appears to have a duffel bag in each hand. Appears to be walking towards one of the vehicles, a blue truck to be precise, parked by the curb.
But it's not a Sudan?
No. There's also apparently a uniformed police officer who walks out of the exterior of the building right behind him and basically stands by the entrance, looking over the commissioner.
Well, I will gaze over their direction and use Aura's perception, which is...
Okay.
And I'm going to... Can I spend a point of willpower to give me an automatic success on this?
Sure. Go ahead and spend your point of willpower and then roll Perception plus Empathy at difficulty 8.
I'm just making sure. Do I have to spend a point of blood for this? No, I do not.
Nope.
Well, I got 1 success.
Alright, with the being able to distinguish the shade from what Marcus can see, it's been some time since he's used our perception, and it's difficult flickering on, but thankfully with all of the recent practice he's been getting with Byron, like teaching him how to smell, looks like the police officer himself has some sort of aura. It doesn't look like he actually really can't tell color. Just shade looks fine, but he's mortal. The commissioner, however, does appear to have pale blotches.
I was kicked from the server for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, I didn't kick you. I'll kick you now, so you can rejoin. Ta-da! You should be able to rejoin now. Yeah, the commissioner has pale blotches, but you can't make out his aura color. Just that it's a pale shade sort of thing.
But it has blotches?
It has pale blotches. What I imagine is there's like some sort of like shimmering gray thing pops up since you couldn't pick out a color, and just some parts of the gray are lighter than others.
But it's definitely a color.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have said so.
Alright. Marcos will then turn around and then go back to the conversation with Byron, acting like it was just door opening, sort of was like, oh, someone's there, and, go back to talking to Byron.
Alright, you hear the commissioner get in the truck and he drives off.
I will attempt to get the license plate before,
Okay, give me a, we'll adjust it down for you, a perception plus alertness at difficulty 8, because you just turned around to go back to your conversation with Byron when he drove off.
3 successes.
Yeah, you get the license plate. It doesn't give you any exact specific ones because apparently the truck has been issued by the New York City Police Department. It's a government truck.
Son of a bitch. Well, anyway, I'm going to go back to Byron. The commissioner just passed through, and I think he's already a ghoul.
Yeah, that would make sense. I bet it was happening right when David and I were trying to get in that apartment. I would not be surprised if that were the case.
I think we have to kill the commissioner.
Eventually, I think you're right. I don't know if this is the right time, but I think we need to get everyone together and give and also let Theo Bell know. He might have some thoughts. David was going to do that. He hasn't gotten back to me yet. But because maybe he has some thoughts on the issue as well.
All right. But I don't like this. The Anarchs ghouling a police commissioner.
Oh, I don't either. It's definitely they're making moves on Camarilla turf, and also it directly affects our domain. So I don't like it either. I'm just trying to find the way that'll most probably get us out of this alive. Let me put it that way, or at least not more dead than we already are.
Well, I'm sorry, Byron. Any way you slice it this time, it looks like we're going to have to hurt something.
Yeah, I agree. It's more of a timing thing with me.
Anyway, I'll see you. Click. And I don't know if we said like to meet at Elysium. You said to meet up, right?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't say anything. I was about to head there, but I mean, David's already at the garden, and he said that it's there's nobody around. And given recent events, it makes sense, except for Theo, apparently. But I don't have much directly to say to him. We could try Madison Square if you like, or we could just train some Auspex a little more. Up to you.
The commissioner had 2 duffel bags, and he went in his truck and drove off. I want to know where he went. I have no idea though.
Yeah. Well, I don't guess you bought a car since yesterday, so you probably took some sort of public transportation there. I don't know how you could follow them.
Marcus will shrug and say, I'm going to head back to Astoria. If you want to meet me there, you can.
All right, Byron will actually do that. He'll say, let's meet at, where do you want to meet? He'll just meet you wherever you're going.
I guess Astoria Estates.
Sounds good. I'll meet you there.
And that's where Marco.
Okay. So yeah, there was a number. There's something, it's just 1565, not a normal license plate. It was government police department issued. Alright, what's Joseph doing after he's fed on his herd? Going back to class, thinking about stuff, trying to, like, hold on, let me make you crazy, Craig.
Yeah, that's what he's doing. He's making all of his goals crazy. He's doing it with the whole church too. It's just sort of a thing going on. No, he's gonna go ahead and what time is it?
For you, we'll say 3 in the morning.
Too late to go anywhere. So he'll be practicing his random little things that he knows. Just making sure he's up to date on everything and.
Right, brush
knows
up on
what
some
he's doing.
occult knowledge, perhaps.
He took his class today, so he's more practicing his lock picking and his firearm usage, cleaning his gun, those kinds of things. Practicing the violin.
Seems perfectly fair. Okay. In that case, while Byron and Marcus are in transit, let's go back to David. Aaron, you still there?
Nope, left a while ago.
Alright, well, when you come back, I want you to copy your token, because we're going to a new map.
Alright, copied.
Okay. Let's go ahead and transfer back to beneath Central Park. And let me know when you've loaded up, Aaron.
Alright, I'm a 10 out of 1 right now.
Okay.
And there we are.
Alright. I want you to put your token anywhere by that 2 elevator sign. You see it?
I thought the map was small and I zoomed in. I realized how big it was.
Yes. This should hopefully give you an example of just how vast the whole expanse that Sevlot had beneath Central Park. Every square counts as a yard, or a meter, by the White Wolf rules. The elevator trip passes without incident. No shaking, no creaking, doesn't stop midway through, you don't have to make jumps. And it arrives, and the door opens, and Aaron sees, this Daymane has definitely seen better days. All of the dirt that had been collected at the bottom has been strewn all over the cobblestone paths that have led both from the elevator here and from numerous other spots. Perhaps you could assume to maybe other location entry points down here have been mostly decimated. And what you see in the middle is basically a vast mountain of ash stretching dozens of feet up. There are barely any remnants of the mansion left, as if once the Tremere had finished, they torched it, they torched all of the bodies, they used their blood magic and burned everything to cinders.
What are those little circles scattered around?
Little circles. Can you use the arrow pointer to note them out for me? That's just bits of, like, the cobblestone path getting blown off. Yeah, all of the gray bits that lead over there to the large dark gray mountain of ash are just remnants of the cobblestone.
Right, I figured that part. Alright, then David's going to move slowly, carefully, and quietly, if at all possible.
Okay, go ahead and give me a new stealth check. Dexterity plus stealth, difficulty 6. I'll have you roll it instead of me, again.
You know what I just realized? I haven't been including my celerity.
Well, there you go. That's important. There's a reason you have all of that. Okay. David definitely does think that he's doing a better job of being stealthy this time. You can go ahead and move your token as you will see fit. Passage, of course, ends up being slow as you crunch against the earth down here does smell, stale and burnt. There's still a stench of the grave, but with practically no filtration down here, should David breathe in, there will just be that overwhelming, lingering, ashy smell of everything being burnt.
David's sniffing occasionally to make sure there aren't any unusual smells, but aside from that, he's not breathing.
That's fair.
I don't know if he even breathes automatically anymore with a humanity of 6. I'm not sure what the threshold is for that.
I don't know either. I think as a vampire you can choose to breathe whether you want to, since respiration is not required. And you certainly have been a vampire long enough that you probably overrode that sense in your head.
Right, I was just thinking more in terms of like natural habits.
Give me a perception plus alertness. Trained observer will apply at difficulty 7. Alright.
That's 3 successes.
Well, 2 with the 1 canceling. Oh, wait, the 10. Yes. It's true. Focusing as his sort of perception, being as trained as he is, and sort of walking closely and slowly towards the huge mountain of ash, he thinks he can hear something he's hearing faint noises coming from the opposite end of it, somewhere like right around in this area. It's too far, and there's too much interference to make out what it is, but there are definitely some faint sounds coming from that direction.
Alright, then David's going to move even more quietly and even more slowly, but keep moving. And since he's quite aware that some people possess auspex, he is still going to be trying to, hide.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. David's, of course, trained enough observer as he gets closer. It sounds like there's 2 voices. What they're saying, though, it's still too hard to tell.
Alright, well, he'll, tell me when he's close enough to start picking it up.
I will do. The voices are actually raising. It sounds like they're angry, like at each other.
Then, that's interesting.
It's your turn with the bucket. No! I already did it for 5 hours. It's your turn with the bucket. Get down there. No, it's your turn. I'll kick you down there myself.
It's basically that sort of stupid banter like that back and forth, like two low-intelligent mooks arguing about apparently who's going to climb down somewhere and use a bucket.
All right. David has some suspicion that it might be a slot job, but can't be sure about that. He's gonna try and head up to that corner over there and see if he can get a good look at them.
Okay.
While, of course, trying to remain hidden.
So it is difficult to see through the ash and what have you, but as it turns out, the suspicions can end up being confirmed. What Aaron will see off in the distance of the dark were two sets of glowing red eyes. Beyond that, it looks like there are two small, deformed Zlacha with their peculiar claws, and between them is a large metal bucket. It also looks like they have some sort of rope pulley system that's going down a pit.
Well, does it look like there's anywhere around here that might be a slightly better vantage point? Whether it's got better cover or a better line of sight, either one works.
Well, certainly, if David wanted to move far away from the ash pile and head northeast out into the dirt, he could get a great look.
I mean, is there a hill or something back there that he could sort of lie down behind and use to watch that way?
Unfortunately, no.
Fair enough. All right. Let me check my list of equipment real quick.
Sorry, it's fine. Well, you do that.
Fine, fine. I know how we'll settle this, but we'll do that thing we did back when. You remember? Ah, you'll remember what thing we did. Alright, you take your hand and you make it into a fist. Ah, okay.
And one Zlacha shows the claw balling up into a fist, the other Zlacha follows.
Alright, and then you say, rock, paper, scissors. And then you pick a rock, or a paper, or a scissors. Okay. And the rock, it punches a hole through the paper unscrews the scissors so they can't work, and the scissors chip away at the rock. Are you sure? Yeah. This is how we used to solve our problems. Okay. We're gonna do this. Yeah, okay. Rock, paper, scissors, go. You just said rock, paper, scissors. You didn't say anything about go. Well, I thought you knew.
They continue on and on.
David's going to pull out his small pair of binoculars and just watch them for a while.
They both seem adamant that it is not their turn to go inside the pit to use the bucket. And they're both fully determined to try to make sure try to con the other one somehow to go in there with the bucket.
All right. David's a patient man.
Okay. Going back to the 5 boroughs, Byron and Marcus arrive at Astoria Estates. If that's where you guys were going, you're there.
Yeah,
That's
we
where
were
that's,
just
that's
going
who's going.
to. Yeah, I think Byron was just going to train more Auspex unless there was something else going on.
All right, I just wanted to make sure.
No. You gotta open your nose more like this.
Okay.
Should I use my fingers, like over the eyes, pull it up, or is that too obvious?
Whatever floats your boat, Byron.
Super. And that's the type of inane jibber jabber that Marcus and Byron do. Almost as bad as those two
Okay.
rules.
Well, after about 12 minutes, the two slots are getting heated with one another. They step closer, the bucket's still between them, they begin squabbling, and now it sounds like they're talking about problems that perhaps pertain to affairs before they became slots. It seems like these two were childhood friends at some point, and then they were turned into ghouls at roughly the same time, and apparently Sevalod gives them some freedom, or apparently perhaps his death has given them a lot more freedom because they're using their energy now to argue. Eventually, one picks up the bucket, clubs the other one in the head with the bucket. The second one falls down into the pit, and then the first one drops the bucket.
That's what you get for not playing rock, paper, scissors, right?
And there's a...
Oof! You bastard! I can't believe you did that to me!
Well, all right then. And then what's the sludge at the top do? Just stand there?
Yeah, pretty much just standing there. You're not really sure how slots should do their facial expressions, but considering how they're just arguing, there's now silence, and it looks like it's smug. It's crossed its bony arms, malformed arms, over its chest, sort of like puffed it out, just looking down the pit.
All right, David's going to take a wide berth and try to come around behind him. Or it. I don't know if it has a sex.
Okay. Give me a dexterity plus stealth at difficulty 3. Oh yeah, it pays you no mind at all. It just goes,
That's right. You start digging. We're almost through to the basement. Those warlocks never got there. That's where the master has to be.
very faintly.
I can't believe you pushed me down here. It was your turn. Shut up and keep digging.
User in your channel timed out.
Just blew Aaron's mind right there.
Yep.
What?
Shut
This
it.
place has a basement? I'm done.
That's right. Fuck it. I quit.
Oh, well, with that, I need a 2 or 3 minute break anyway.
Yep, go ahead and take a 5-minute break, everyone.
He's back.
User was moved to your channel.
Well,
I got briefly disconnected.
it's fine. We just figured, what's the last thing you heard from me?
Something about the master must be in the basement.
Yeah.
So keep digging.
We'll go ahead and take a break for a few minutes. I need to pause the recording here anyway, so it doesn't go too
Kick me
far.
from the server.
That's right, I need to do that. You have been kicked, and I will BRB LOL.
Cool, I'll go try and get a snack or something.